Have any of y'all heard of Frederick Douglass? Or perhaps Henry Box Brown? Well, I'm sure most of us has. But has any of you heard of William Wells Brown? The answer should be no for most of you. You see, although William Wells Brown wasn't as popular as slaves such as Frederick Douglass, he is certainly just as important as any of them. William Wells Brown was born in Lexington, Kentucky in 1814, at a time where slavery was allowed and also a time where the Underground Railroad was helping slaves escape. When he was young, he had many masters. Due to death, he moved many times and eventually settled in a farm outside of St. Louis. During his time there, he was exposed to many people and gave him a great deal of knowledge about the life in America, and after a failed escape attempt, he was sold to a steamboat captain, and in New Year's Day of 1834, his boat was docked in Cincinnati, and with the help of some Quakers man named Wells Brown, he escaped slavery and took the man's name. After his escape, he moved to Buffalo, New York, and worked 9 years there as a steamboatman in Lake Erie, and as a conductor in the Underground Railroad, helping many escape while risking his capture. In 1843, he began lecturing his experiences in ending slavery for many groups, and in 1847, he started to write stories in some of his books. He wrote even became famous. Between 1849 and 1854, he gave more than 1,000 speeches in Europe and America alone, and wrote 2 books, one of which was Clodagh. It is considered the first African-American novel. He raised enough money eventually in 1854 and became a well-known anti-slavery activist writer who resided in and traveled widely across the northern United States and the British Isles. He wrote many remarkable scripts and books, which included the first African-American novel, the first printed African-American play, the first African-American travelogue, and many more. He also once quoted himself in a speech that people don't follow titles, they follow courage. That was definitely him throughout his time, helping slaves escape and inspiring people, and it led to him being popular. He also quotes that the last struggle for our rights, the battle for our civilization, is entirely with ourselves. He is basically saying that it would be our duty to fight against the unright, just like what he has been doing to fight against slavery this whole time. He was in many ways like others, but he did not care about fame or money. He, like many others, worked for one goal in mind, fighting to end racial discrimination and slavery. And we all know in the end that he won't be fighting alone.